So yesterday what we did is we argued that this if I stop for a minute, that means I'm absorbing more people in the room. Okay. If you look in here, you can see that if we are taking the limit from the right, we will have a limit, except when we get very close to zero, we cannot have any limit. And likewise, if we approach from the left x equal to zero, then we would end up also at a place where we cannot move forward. So we cannot reach the y-axis. Everybody knows the reason, right? That we cannot. Everybody knows the reason that we cannot approach the y-axis, right? Shabab, what is the reason? What is the reason that x cannot approach y?
There is a hole.
Because there is a hole, yes, and the hole is from this, which is this value right here. Okay, that's good. Let's keep going then. Okay, we talked about this also yesterday. And if I may ask you, limit as x goes to 0 plus, what does it mean 0 plus?
From the right
From
side.
the right.
Barakallahu feekum. So is there a limit? Is there a limit? What is the limit of this function?
I think infinity.
0.
Zero. It's zero, right? Because we're approaching zero from the right. So we can approach zero. Why? Because we can have a zero under the square root, right? Yes? Everybody?
Yes.
Good. Now, if we change this plus into minus, what will happen? Are we going to have a limit?
It's undefined, Doctor.
Yes. Why? Because we
there is
cannot
no
approach zero from the left, right? If you're approaching
there is no
from the left, you're
negative.
coming with a negative value, right? Even if it is very small, it is still negative value. But negative values are not allowed under the square root, right? Right?
Yes.
Good, good. So let's get going to the next. Okay. Here is limit of sine theta divided by theta, right? We proved using trigonometrics that the limit as theta goes to 0 is going to be equal to 1, right? The limit of sine theta divided by theta as theta goes to 0, the limit is 1, right? معي شباب. We proved it using what? We proved it using trigonometrics when we did the triangles. Remember that? Okay, anyway, it's in the video and I'm going to show you the video, how to get to that video later on, okay? So if you look at this function, sine theta over theta, try to approach from the right. If you approach from the right, of course, sine any product of pi that is an even number or odd number, you can see 3 pi, sine will be 0. 2 pi, sine will be 0. 1 pi, sine will be 0, and so on. But when it comes to this, sine is not going to be equal to 0, right? So what is the limit as we approach 0 from the left? From the right. What is the limit as we approach 0 from the right?
1.
Good. What's the limit if what we approach 0 from the left? What is the limit? The same. So when the limit as we approach from the left equal to the limit as we approach from the right, that means limit as we approach x equal to 0, as x approaches equal to 0, will also be equal to 1, right?
Yes.
Good, good, good. Let's keep going then. Okay, so the next is this. Okay, and we talked about this, so there is no point of repeating it, right? Everybody? So the ratio of this as x theta goes to 0 is equal to 1, its limit, right? Okay. 10 people waiting in the room. Okay, let's admit them. Okay. Let's go to the next. Let me stop this and then move to the next slide. Okay, we talked about this also, but let's go ahead and do it again. Okay, we have to solve this. Show that a limit as h goes to 0 of cosine h minus 1 divided by h. Prove that it's equal to 0. Okay, shall we do it today also? Okay, let's just go ahead and do it. This is cosine h minus 1.
Doctor,
Can you see it?
I'm gonna switch devices. I'm gonna switch my device.
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead, sure. Okay, okay, everybody is following. Should we go ahead and proceed with the solution? I'm going to go ahead and proceed with the solution. We want to take advantage of the time because we will be stopping and admitting more people. So in this case, I think the best way to do it is using the conjugate, right? Right, Shabab? Using the conjugate for this one, right?
Right.
Okay, good. So what is the conjugate? It will be what? Cosine of h minus 1 multiplied by what? Cosine of h plus 1, right?
Plus 1. Yes.
Good. So cosine of x minus 1 and then cosine of x of plus 1. So let us see if we can change this one. Okay, we'll get the pen back. Okay, so this is cosine of x plus what? Plus 1, right? And then underneath we will have what? H multiplied by what? Cosine of h plus 1, right? Everybody following? Hi, Shabab. Okay.
Yes,
Yes, Doctor. Yes.
So this is going to give me what? Cosine square of h minus 1, right? Divided by what? H multiplied by cosine of h, right? Plus 1. Now, the one on the top, I can rewrite it as negative sine square of h. Is everybody comfortable with that? Cosine of h plus 1. Is everybody comfortable with this? If you're not comfortable, let's take a look at this. What is sine square of h? I'm doing somebody. Sine square of h plus cosine square of h equal to what? Help me. Equal to what? Sine square of h plus cosine square of h is equal to what? Ya Shabab?
1.
1, right? Now, look at the numerator and the denominator. What if we moved sine square of h to the right? Right, Shabab? This is negative sine square of h divided by this, right? I went from cosine square of h minus 1 to negative sine x, right? Okay, so if we take this one there and take this one there, are we going to get to what we have?
Yes.
Good. So now we will split this into two parts. Okay, I'm going to go from here. So we need the limit as h goes to 0 of this, right? So we're going to divide this into two. The first will be what? Just sine of h. The second is negative sine of h. Okay, this is multiplication. Just multiplied by each other. Is everybody following here? And then
Yes.
we can put over here h. And we can put over here what? Cosine h plus 1, right? Now, limit of the product is the product with the limits, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Let me just go ahead and clean up this mess so that I can get back to what I want. Okay, so erase this. Okay, let me just go ahead and erase this. And then we will go for this. So this will be equals to limit as h goes to 0 of sine of h divided by h, right? Multiplied by limit as h goes to 0 of what? Hi, Shabab.
Minus sine.
Minus sine.
Minus sine.
Excellent. Divided by
Cosine h
h plus 1.
plus 1.
Very good. Okay, what is the limit of the left-hand side?
1.
1, very good. So it's 1 multiplied by limit of sine h as h goes to 0 is 0, right? Divided
Yes.
by cosine of 0 is 1 plus 1. So this
So
is
it's
0 multiplied by 1 is equal to 0. So the limit is equal to 0, right?
yes.
Okay. We proved that the limit is equal to 0. That's what they want, right? Here. Okay, Shabab. And this is the right-hand side. Okay, let's get going with the second problem. The second problem is what? We have limit as x goes to 0 of sine 2x divided by 5x. We have to prove that this is equal to twice 2 divided by 5. 2. Okay, so let us go for B. So we will say here number B. We're looking at the limit, right, of sine 2x divided by 5x. Is there any way that we can change the denominator to be 2x instead of 5x? If I
Multiply both sides by 2.
multiply both sides by 2, and okay, let's take 1 over 5 outside. We can do that, right? And then we will have what? Sine of what? 2x divided by x, right? So if we multiply it by 2 over here, we have to multiply by 2 at what? At the numerator, right? Now we have what? We have a constant value, which is what? 2 over 5, right? Multiplied by sine of 2x divided by 2x, right? Okay. Now we know that we have to take the limit of the left-hand side and then followed by the limit of the right-hand side. Limit of the left-hand side, limit of the constant is equal to constant, right? So the limit of the constant is 2 over 5, right? This is multiplied by limit of what? Of a value, which is 2x divided by the same value. So limit of the sine of some value divided by that value as x goes to 0 is going to be equal to what? 1, right? Limit
Yes.
of anything divided by that same thing limit of sine of anything divided by that thing is always 1. So this will be equal to 1. So the answer will be what? 2/5, which is what is required over here, right?
Yes.
Okay. Shall we move to the next? Okay. So let's move to the next one. I'm going to go ahead and make a point here. You should always have strategies. If you look at this function and you know you can go ahead and rearrange this function so that you will get what? You will get sine 2x divided by 2x, then go for it. Exams are strategies. If you are a good strategist, you will get a good grade in the exam. If you are not, you're not going to get. So look at the strategy before you can think about what kind of solution. Okay, because looking at the strategy will help you. Yes.
في فقرة B هنا دكتور، لما جيت لما ضربت البسط والمقام، هل أضربهم دائما بنفس العدد اللي يكون في البسط اللي هو 2؟
فيك انت تغيرهم بطريقه واحده بس، ما فيك تروح انت في الداخل وتغير هذه التو، بس فيك تغير اللي في الخارج، لانه فيك تطلع الخمسه برا، صح؟ بيكون multiplied by 1/5 صح؟
صح.
طيب فاذا انت multiplied مثلا by 1/5 it's as if like you're doing this and then here sine of 2x divided by x صح؟ So if this is sine of 2x divided by x, and احنا ودنا limit sine of anything divided by that thing. But that thing we don't have it. To make that thing, we will multiply this by 2 and this by 2, right? Anytime you multiply the denominator, you have to multiply the numerator. Okay?
عشان يعني الاثنين داخل الساين فما قدرت تحركها.
اي نعم، ما نقدر نحركها، فنحرك الاثنين في النوميريتور. فحركنا اثنين، ضربنا هنا اثنين وهنا اثنين. هلا صار ايش؟ نحن نقدر نقول انه هذا الليمت تبع هذا ايكوال تو 1 والليمت تبع هذا ايكوال تو 2/5.
صحيح.
اوكي يلا خلونا نرتب هذه، نحاول نعملها بسرعه شويه. كويس. اول شيء المفروض نعمل ايش؟ شوفوا تان تي. اول شيء يجي في بالك انه ايش؟ تان تي حولها لايش؟ لساين تي اوفر كوساين تي. لا تحاول تتعامل معاه لانه تال كومبلكس. دائما انت يعني ديفايد اند كونكر. ديفايد اند كونكر بيستخدموها في السياسه، انه يعني بريطانيا اي بلد كانت مستعمره قسمته ولذلك استطاعت انه يعني تسيطر عليه. هذا عندهم كده. بس الديفايد اند كونكر في الساينسز is more important than في الديفنس ولا ذات في البوليتكس. فهنا we have to divide it. So we will change the problem as what? Limit as t goes to 0 of what? It will be sine t divided by what? Tan t is equal to what?
Sine over cosine.
Sine t divided by cosine t. صح? Divided by cosine
صحيح.
t. هذا sine t. صح؟ هذا كله مضروب بإيش؟ مضروب في إيش؟ في sine of 2t. صح؟ Divided by what? 3t. صح؟
دكتور هذا السك يا دكتور.
sec عفوا. This is sec. See, I went for sine. Let me. It is. So everybody agrees that this is not sine t? Shabab? Everybody agrees that this is not sine t? Shabab?
Yeah, because it's
okay.
It's rotated sec.
Very good. It's written sec there, صح? Good. So is there any way we can write down something else other than sec? Okay.
1 over cosine.
Yes, 1 over cosine. But let's just go ahead and put sec here. Okay. So this is sec of 2t. Okay. So let's keep it sec of.
You can just, Doctor, you can take cosine, put it in the denominator, so it's cosine square t. So there is one just in the above.
Okay. So we have, like you said, we have sine t over here and cosine t over here, right? So we can just bring this one down, right? If we brought it down,
As cosine.
yeah, as cosine, it will be cosine. If we lift it over here, it's the same, right? Now, can we apply 0 now? If we apply 0, what we will get over here?
0.
0, right? And this is cosine, right? So if we apply 0, it will be what?
1.
1, right? And over here we have what? We have this, which we can put it down. So it will be 3t multiplied by whatever value, right? So what do you think the limit will be? Huh? What do you think?
Undefined.
Over 3.
Excellent, undefined. Now let me ask you, what strategy did we use? Did we use a strategy here? Did we use a strategy?
No.
The strategy is not to make sure that we don't have 0 in the denominator, right? So can we move this to this place and move this to this place? We can, right? They're multiplied by each other, right?
Doctor,
Forget about the 3. Can we move the t under the sine and move the cosine under the sec?
Yes.
It's the same. Okay. So if we move the t under the sine, we will have what? We will have sine t divided by what? T, right? And we want the limit as t goes to 0, right? And the right hand side will be what? Multiplied by, it's not right hand side. This will be what? Sec of 2t, right? Divided by what? Cosine t, right? Now plug in 0. What do you think you're going to get for this one?
1.
Excellent. And then multiplied by, the top will give you what? 0, right? Yes?
I think yes.
No, it's not going to give you 0. Sec. If you want to change sec, it will be what? If you bring it down, it will be what?
Cosine.
Cosine 2t. Okay? Here, cosine 0, right? Cosine 0 is equal to what? 1, right? Cosine 0 equal to 1. And here, cosine 0 also equal to what? Here will be cosine 2x, but x equal to 0, it will be cosine 0, right? So I have cosine 0 multiplied by cosine 0. So this is 1, right? So what is the ultimate value? Equal to 1, right? Clear? The limit equal to 1. Strategy, 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 ya shabab. Got it? Shall I repeat it
طب
again?
دكتور هذا اللي هنا دكتور هذه كوساين تي في كوساين 2 تي سويت فيها هذه.
I will do it again. Just keep watching. Okay. I know it's tricky. So let me just do it again. Okay. I wanted to make sure that I go to the way that will give us a problem, and then I wanted to ask you how to fix this problem. Okay. So just remember the strategy. If you have a function that you know it is limit, okay, you have to rearrange whatever you need to do the limit for. You have to rearrange it in a way that you can take advantage of what you know. What you know is that sine of what? What you know is sine of any value divided by that value, its limit is equal to 1, right? Hi, Shabab. يعني one of the strategies, I'm just going to write this strategy. Okay. All the time, okay, limit as x goes to 0, for example, okay, of sine of any value, okay, let us say alpha multiplied by, let's say x divided by, it should be what? Alpha multiplied by x. Alpha anything, right? this is an angle, right? And this is the same angle, right? So هنا alpha x. If we take the limit as x goes to 0, this will be equal to what? Limit of what? Of sine of what? Of 0 divided by 0, right? But we prove that this limit is equal to what? As x goes to 0. We prove that this is equal to 1, right? So we want to rewrite this one so that we can take advantage of what we know, right? So let's rearrange this one. To rearrange it, we want sine in the numerator, right? We want sine in the numerator, right? Shabab, to take advantage of this fact, we have to have a sine in the numerator. So sure enough, tan of t will give us sine in the numerator, right? So we will rewrite the problem as what? Sine of t, right? Multiplied by sec of 2t, right? And then divided by, remember this was tan. So tan is equal to sine divided by cosine. So we'll put cosine of what? Cosine of t. So this is the part that gave us what? The tan, right? And this part give us what? 3t, right? And we want to get the limit as t goes to what? 0, right? So now I said we need what? We need sine t divided by t, right? So we have to take this under this, right? And we have to get the t under this, right? Think of it like this way: alpha divided by 5 multiplied by beta divided by 3. Okay? Isn't it the same as alpha divided by 3 multiplied by beta divided by 5? Isn't it the same? Because in the end, you have 15 and you have 15 here, right? Is what I said clear? Ya Shabab, is this clear?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, doctor, it's clear.
Okay, very good. So let's go ahead now and make the move. So in our move, we said we're going to get the cosine under the sec, and we're going to get what? The t under the sine, right? So you can just, so let's do them this way. Okay, we said we will put the cosine of t, which is pairing with this to give us the tan, right? And then we have 3t, right? So 3t, we can just put here t, and we could put here 3, right? So we know that this part will give us what? What we want, which is 1, right? Yes? Limit as t goes to 0 of sine 0 over 0, right? So this will give us 1, right? Everybody? Anybody not following? If you're not following, tell me. I will repeat it again. Hi, Shabab. So this is 1 multiplied by limit as t goes to 0 of, this is sec of 2t. We can put it down. So we will have under this 1 over 3, right? And then we will have sec of 2t. Okay, this is multiplied by what? Cosine of t. Is what I said right? Hi, Shabab, is the denominator right?
Doctor, cosine 2t.
Yes, I have sec 2t and I brought it down, so I should make it cosine, not sec. Please pay attention. Okay, good. So here, this is going to be equal to cosine of t, of 2t. So we'll put it back as cosine of 2t. 3 multiplied by cosine of 2t, right? Okay, so when I take t equal to 0, this will be equal to cosine what? Cosine 0, right? And this will be equal to cosine what? Cosine
0,
right? So cosine 0 is equal
yes.
to what? 1, right? And cosine 0 here is equal to 1.
1.
Multiplied by 3 is 3, right? So what
So it's
is
1 over 3.
Ah, excellent. Excellent. Over here, we did not consider the 3 when we did it. Okay, so this is the limit. So everybody is comfortable with this? Huh?
Sure, yes.
Okay, very good. If everybody is comfortable with this, I think that will end this part. Okay. And did you get a message about the midterm? Huh? Ya Shabab, did you get a message about the midterm? Huh?
دكتور يمين الإيميل.
Huh? Never mind, I will send to you
يمين
another.
الإيميل.
Okay, I think some of you were complaining that the midterm will be from chapter 3 and we didn't do anything about chapter 3. Some of you were complaining, right? Still, the exam is not
Yes.
tomorrow. The exam is on Tuesday, right? And the idea is just to give you the exam at what we covered. You heard somebody saying that the exam from chapter 1, 2, and 3, and some of you made a big deal about it. The exam is going to be from part 1, from chapter 1 and chapter 2 only. Please don't rush to judgment, okay? All right. So is everybody comfortable that the exam is going to be from chapter 1 and chapter 2 only?
So the midterm is chapter 1 and 2 just.
I am the one who teaching the course. And I'm telling you it is chapter 1 and chapter 2.
Yes, the trusted sources. Thank you.
I'm just telling you, if you trust me, follow me. If you don't trust me, it's up to you. Go ahead and complain. Okay? Okay شباب، هل في معكم ناس بدهم chapter 3 إضافي؟ والله بنضيفه إذا بدكم.
لا لا يا دكتور، صل على النبي، يعطيك العافية.
يكفيك يا دكتور، الله يجزاك خير.
ما قصرت يا دكتور.
بس أنا الله يرضى عليكم، أنتوا اعملوا اللي أنا بقوله لكم ولن تندموا. كيف؟ بالعكس، وستذكرون ما أقول لكم وأفوض أمري إلى الله. Okay, now if you want, we can jump into chapter 3, but it's not going to be in the exam. If you want this time to go ahead and study, I don't mind. I will stop right here. I want to make sure that you guys prepare yourselves for the midterm. The midterm is on Tuesday. It's up to you. You want me to take advantage of this and move into chapter 3? All chapter 3, I can do it to you for just 2 lectures. All chapter 4, I can do it in 2 lectures. We have 5 weeks. We have more than enough time. I pushed to get less sections in all of this so that you're not going to suffer. Okay? I don't talk about what I do, but I had to tell you this. One more time. You want the rest of the time for chapter 3? I will cover chapter 3, section 1 and 2 in the second hour. Or if you want, you can go ahead and study for the exam. And of course, later on, if we needed time, I'm going to call you so that we can do, from our own. We can do 1 hour in the night. Nobody can come and tell us you cannot do it. The only thing that we cannot do is we cannot convert a time the university decided that it will be on classes and we do it in class. But I'm telling you right now, okay? Today, pretty much, most of the people are not teaching, but we went and we taught. Now we handled 1 hour. We have another hour. Do you want this hour for preparing or do you want us to continue? هاي شباب يلا اعطونا. أنا دائما بعطي الطلاب الاختيار. ودكم نستمر ندخل على chapter 3 أو ودكم الوقت أنكم تستفيدوا منه؟
up to you دكتور.
نستفيد منه أحسن من نذاكر. أقول نستفيد منه أحسن من نذاكر.
طيب تذاكروا خلاص إذا بدكم تذاكروا حياكم، منو مشكلة أبدا، نحن بنعوضه مرة ثانية. كذلك أنا من عاداتي قبل الميد ترم يعني بيوم بعطي الطلاب يعني 1 hour and sometimes 2 hours of review. So the exam is on Tuesday. We should have a review section on Monday, and it will be on Monday from 8 to 10. Whatever questions you have, you can come. Okay?
Okay.
اوكي دكتور.
So I only pray for you that you do a good job on your studying and make sure that you're not gonna stay all night long, because you have to come up with a brain that is rested, and the cells of the brain, they need food. I'm telling you what you don't hear. If you don't sleep well and if you don't eat well before you go to the exam, okay, the plates that take the blood to the brain, they're not going to be as efficient as they would be. So I am sure some of you, most of you, you did not do the final up to your abilities. Okay, so I want you to do it up to your capabilities and abilities. Yalla ya shabab. I don't want anybody to get a C's. You understand? I will not accept anything for anybody less than A or B. So go for it, and we will prove to the university that, you know, you are not that, you know, you're not that person who fails a course. You are that person who will achieve in that course. يلا بارك الله فيكم، كرمكم الله يا شباب. لا تنسونا مصالح الدعاء.
باذن الله يعطيك العافيه دكتور.
جمعا ان شاء الله، لا تنسونا مصالح الدعاء. السلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته. هذا الفيديو انا بحطه بس برايفت لكم انتم وحدكم، يعني ممكن تراجعوه في اي لحظه، وانا برسل لكم اللينك. اوكي، ارسل لكم كذلك معلومه انه انتم مسؤولين فقط من شابتر 1 و شابتر 2 في الميد ترم
بإذن الله.
يلا الله يوفقكم. يلا السلام عليكم.
شكرا دكتور، مع السلامة.
الله يكرمكم، مع السلامه.